Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the scene for Living World of Darkness, Mage Venue, Magic the Resurgence. The gang have been prepping for a prisoner exchange with the Technocratic Union. On one hand, they are handing over Emiliano, a hit mark, or more accurately, Atlas unit, who escaped and has regained his consciousness, that of a member of the traditions, a dream speaker. However, part of the prisoner exchange for Emiliano, he is basically willing to sacrifice himself so that his apprentice, who was captured with him, will be able to get his freedom. The Union are not. Where they've said it, it may be a trap of some variety, but the gang have prepared. They are meeting with another cabal of mages as well. And we have one last effort in this, which is Sylve is going to ask for the patronage of St. Lucy to grant her visions of the place they are going to go, so they may be able to work out some kind of exit strategy. Get a lay of the land.
Yeah, pretty much. See if there's anything there already. That's obviously a trap.
Go for it.
Okay, so yeah, she's going to do the same method as before with the blindfold, and I can't remember what else she did, but some other stuff that she did. Because it worked.
Yeah, you invoked the symbols of St. Lucy, which are like a golden plate with her eyes, lamps. I think a lamp works very well for scrying, so we could maintain that.
Yes. And because she's blindfolded, she does, in fact, sit down somewhere. If it's at home in her sanctum, then that's another thing, but if we're doing flare rules, then I know I can't do that, so it still would be the more comfortable place to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, let's see what happens here. I don't remember my diff, but I know I got at least 2 there.
Where was Dice Roll
Um,
you have 3 there.
Is it 3? Okay. For a cursory look around, that would be enough, right?
Not to a location you've never been.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, she has no problem continuing in this. It's all about the praying and the invoking of the symbols, and
absolutely.
So, one more.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I'll go one more time. And
yeah, sorry. Yeah, you'll need 5.
I was thinking. So if 4s are good, that's 2 more.
So you basically pray to her. There's that moment at the beginning of prayer where you're just performing the rote. You're not really feeling it, but gradually the palming of the rosary beads, the praying to St. Lucy, the concentration gradually takes hold. And you do enter a semi kind of almost like trance-like state, and you begin seeing holy visions. You see a large warehouse that backs onto the river, and there is essentially kind of a large. The warehouse is derelict and ruined, and there is essentially a big concrete square kind of behind it, facing the river. There are large pieces of equipment that probably was something to do with shipping that seem to block it off and seem to make it pretty. So you can't really see it from any direction. You see entrances. There's fencing all around it. This is the sort of fencing you could probably reasonably get into. It's more to keep kind of kids out from doing graffiti than any concerted effort. So almost any direction you're kind of able to get into it. There are walls on either side, and one side goes onto the river, but it's a fairly open area.
Okay.
You do not see anything there yet. If you would like, I would allow you to continue the route, and you can add.
Prime in is what I'd like to add in, I think.
Prime in, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because she needs to be able to feel if there's any of.
Sure.
shall we say, blessings around. On in this case, it's probably more curses. Both are equally legit. Got at least a 7 there.
Okay. You see light kind of shines down from heaven and bathes the area in light in your vision. You do not see anything particular.
Okay.
It is not
She's
focused
gonna.
on anything in particular.
That's a good sign. Can she move closer? Maybe look around the inside, just at least the first floor or something like that.
Absolutely. The vision shifts and you look inside the warehouse. It is a broken old warehouse. You can see big concrete platforms where there was probably some kind of machinery. They've been taken out. There are rusty barrels. You do see a bit of graffiti and smashed bottles and things like that on the inside.
Anything? Does the light from above sort of show
No.
anything there?
Nope. There is no indications that there is anything magical or any beings with contestants in them here right now.
Okay. Yeah. That will have to do for the moment because she's not sure what else she'd be looking for. Doesn't seem to be any signs of anybody or anything at this point. So, okay, yeah, she'll end that particular effect and try
Cool.
to find the others. Come down from her sanctum, from where they're probably burying clothes in the ground and stuff.
Yeah, you come down and they are doing barbarous heathen magic.
Well, not everybody can be me. Yeah, so she'll
Because
just
you're
kind
not
of
trying
walk
to
out.
convert them.
I'm not a missionary. My missionary is currently one of the heathens. So anyway, yeah, she'll just walk out there and outside, and just kind of stand out there and kind of watch them, wait for them to be done with whatever they're doing, not being involved whatsoever.
You see them doing what they're doing. You see Sylve standing watching.
She's back a little bit. It's not really a comfort zone for her.
Okay, so are we good?
Sorry, Sylve. I don't want to impose, but do you want me to do this to your clothes as well? It should mean they're a bit more robust if anything goes south. I understand if the answer is no.
I think I'm okay for now. Thank you. But I did have a vision from St. Lucy.
Okay.
Luckily, she was willing to speak with, show me things, I should say. And place looks mostly clear. It's an old abandoned warehouse. Bits of machinery around. I didn't see anything inside. I don't think anything like we might do it seems to be afoot, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
So it looks fairly clear. But, that doesn't mean that there still aren't tricks of some sort. It just means that, at least as far as I could tell, there was nothing. And we could come at it from a lot of different directions.
Okay. Quick question. How close is it to water?
Next
Wasn't
to
it
the
right
river.
on?
Oh,
Next to the river.
sorry.
Yeah, she'll just be like, it's right next to the river.
Excellent.
Absolutely. She sort of. But other than that, I at least didn't want to walk into a trap knowingly, but we should still prepare for it. if there are things that can be done for that.
Yeah, as I say, I've brought the stone into our clothes. Don't think there's much else we can really do ahead of time.
Yeah, I don't think we could get more.
Is anybody good with a weapon?
I'm starting to get good with guns.
Nope. Not me.
Me neither. But I just figured it'd be good to know who knew things.
So if all else, the river is there.
So I can ruin another set of clothes by doing something really, questionable. I'm just gonna start buying everything cheap. Nothing but cheap clothes.
I should be able to focus it a bit more now.
She nods. Okay. Then I suppose that's it, unless we can think of anything else.
Are you going to do her clothes, Duncan?
No, Sylv said that she didn't want to, and he doesn't want to kind of. If Sylv says she doesn't want it, then he doesn't want to use
Absolutely.
quote unquote heathen magic.
Cool.
Yeah, she just said no, thank you.
It's about after all this stuff has been done and you've done general preparation, and you've maybe got about a couple of hours before the meeting. So we can just jump ahead to then. You guys can have some food.
Yep.
The place you are going to pick your van up is not that far away.
Just gonna mention just so that it's actually mentioned in scene. She's going to leave Sonny back at the house for this.
Sure.
Because most of the time, every other single scene, he's been there. So, yeah.
He protests, but we'll do as you say.
Well, she just wants him to be safe. And if anything goes bad, then she doesn't want him stuck in a place that the technocracy could snag him. That's what she would explain to him.
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
Pretty much.
He will acquiesce.
And then she'll make sure she brings home snacks.
Yeah, feel better about it. Alrighty. You can drive to your van. You go and get it. It's already been paid for. It's like a delivery van. It's big enough to put Emiliano and change in the back. And you still have the location of where to go. If you arrive at the location, interrupt me if I'm jumping ahead too quickly. But if you arrive at the location, you can basically back the truck into the alley, and there is a sewer grate, a rather large one.
So look down into the sewer grate and see if we can see any kind of red light.
You look down for a bit and don't see anything, and then kind of from the side, coming from along the sewer, you see the red light, and Emiliano will make his presence shown. He walks deceptively quietly for such a large being.
Yeah, we'll try and get the sewer grate open then.
If you start trying, Emiliano is going to gesture for you to stand back, and he's going to take his claws, and there will be a quick bang, and he will have smashed the lock off, or more likely smashed the whole area around where the lock was, and the sewer gate will swing open and clang to the floor, and his hulking form will come out.
Well,
And he will
Hold the
nod
door.
to you.
Hold the door open so we can jump in fast.
He will take a deep breath, and he will get in a little unsteadily. The suspension on the vehicle takes the strain just.
Sylph's actually going to get in the back with him, so he has company.
He, yeah, looks okay with this.
She's just thinking. She's trying to be kind to him. You know, he's been alone so much. He probably doesn't want to be alone right now. At least that's how she would feel.
Okay. And drive to where we said would meet the traditions.
Cool. You drive to a nearby multi-story car park. They basically said meet us on the bottom floor. It's mysteriously although the car park seems to have some people in, mysteriously the bottom floor seems devoid of people. And you see an old Cadillac. And people get out. You see Charles Devonshire. I'm going to have to quickly flick through my stuff. You see, she likes to be called Tombstone McCoy. And you see Solomon. Where's his pick? Come on. There we are. You do not see the fourth member of the group. Charles steps out and basically kind of he seems to be the one that does the talking.
Yeah, so get out of the van. Say, hi. Is Evan Love coming?
Evan Love will be here in spirit, sweetie, says Tombstone. He don't like to show his face.
That's okay. So Solomon, Tombstone, this is Claudia.
Hey,
Pleasure to meet you, Missy. Solomon bows his head. Tombstone is what you see here. She is a steampunk cowgirl rather. And she gives a kind of like half kind of not mocking, but like kind of a dainty curtsy with a kind of mischievous smile on her face. Solomon is a fairly large man wearing, it looks almost like a habit, but it's not of a particular style you'd recognize. And he will bow to you, kind of bow his head respectfully. I just want to say, chaps, can we see the fellow?
He's in the van.
I'd like to meet him face to face before we do all this.
Jack will go and will jump into he'll jump into the front of the van and just call through to Emiliano and say, the tradition said they'd like to meet you face to face. You okay with that?
He looks a bit dubious, but then he'll nod and he'll lift up the back of the van and kind of step out. There's a few kind of like intakes of breath. You should be all right here, friend. My good friend Evan Love has taken the necessary precautions, and I can be persuasive myself if I need to be. No one will disturb us, at least for a little while. Your friends have told us what happened to you. Are you sure you want to go ahead with this? He'll nod. Well, I don't believe we've had overly formally introductions either. We are the Greymane's dozen, although there are only 4 of us at the moment.
We are Fulton Street.
Fulton Street. Well, I'm sure there's a story behind that I'd like to hear sometime. Maybe if we all get out of this shindig with our skin intact, you can tell me about it over a cuppa. Tombstone
We'll see.
McCoy, with a real swagger, is kind of walks up to Emiliano and kind of gives him kind of a once over. You're a real big fella. Ain't used to seeing this kind of. She gestures to the hand. Gear up on a friendly.
He does find it difficult to respond unless and she pulls out her pad of paper, looks at him to see if he wants it.
He just looks at it. He'll kind of he looks a bit uncomfortable, frankly. You very much get the feeling, you 3, that he doesn't like being in this position. He kind of wants to get on with it.
I mean, she's probably taken a step closer to him anyways, almost protectively, you know.
Yeah,
This point.
he kind of looks towards Jack.
It's like looks says, I think long story, and Emiliano, they seem okay, but you just want to get moving.
He'll nod. Well, off to it then. We'll see you there. Follow us. We can enter through one of the side buildings. I imagine they'll come in through the front door naturally. Like they own
Actually,
the
we can go in through any way we want, really. I checked it out, and there's a variety of ways we could go in.
Do you have a preference? Fulton Street?
Did
Prefer
any
to be near
particular
the
way look
water.
better than others?
Jack would prefer to be near the water.
Near the water?
Mhm.
Sure. I'm very interested to see why. Well, you lead the way then. We'll follow you. When we get there, and a bit of steel kind of enters Charles's face. Let me do most of the talking. Me and Natasha have. Well, we go back some. I might be wrong, but I do hope at least there's some kind of sense there. She used to be a good person. Anyway, off we go.
Lead the
I
way.
didn't see any. Yeah, she'll just say, I didn't see any signs of a trap when I checked earlier, but that was like an hour or 2 ago, so who knows?
It's hard to tell with the Kratts. They do have a sort of perverse sense of honor in a way. Well, some of them do, but I'd keep our wits about us nonetheless.
Gotcha.
Well, it was a pleasure to meet you all. Mr. Connor, Miss Winstrom, Miss Donatai. See you on the other side.
Pleasure to meet you again. And she'll head towards the van.
Emiliano gets in, and yeah, they will follow you to this, like, basically an area that you can easily access the side. The fence is pretty knackered. It's not too hard to find a bit that's just been pushed over, and you can make it in. If you were wondering which way the Technocratic Union was going to enter, it's a bit late because they're already there. You see 2 vans and a person you recognize from before, Mrs. Natasha, standing out front with 2 other people. One of them is a man who appears to be wearing some kind of like bodysuit, and the other is a man with large manacles on, who looks like this. You pull up, and they just kind of look at you. There's 2 vans with their lights on at you.
Okay. We'll pull up just somewhere where we could hopefully make a swift getaway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Emiliano, you ready?
He makes a final gesture with his hands, and he will step out the back of the truck. Charles and the rest of the Greymane's dozen have also stepped out and are leaning against their car. You get the impression Charles is tense, Solomon is calm and focused, and Miss McCoy is... She's posing. She's kind of standing there, very confrontational, very loud and brash. But you get there's an underlying kind of like she's a bit scared. You probably know from the interactions that she is essentially the junior member of the cabal.
She's gonna look at Emiliano and just be like, just kind of quietly, do you want me to stand with you until it's time?
He looks at you and he'll nod, and he'll also look towards Jack and Claudia.
We'll be with you. And whatever happens, we get out. We'll get out of this a lot. Whatever happens, the spirits will know about what happened.
He'll nod.
Okay.
Upon seeing the man who is gagged by a metal gag, almost like a kind of Hannibal Lecter thing, and has his hands in large technological-looking manacles in front of him, Emiliano visibly kind of like stiffens. The figure doesn't seem to recognize him at all. And Natasha will step forward. Charles, good of you to come. Well, naturally, Natasha. Wouldn't want to miss an opportunity to see you again. I see you've brought friends. I have. I believe this is the creature you are looking for, no? Yes, quite. Didn't give you any trouble. It looks docile. Well, we thought it would best it came quietly. Well, let's not waste our time, shall we? Jason, and she'll gesture to the man in the bodysuit, who will take the other figure by the arm and kind of walk him forward. And he's holding him by the arm. I hope you understand that we have to take precautions with a creature of this power. And from out behind one of the vehicles, men in what looks like high-tech SWAT team gear kind of file out and form a semicircle. And there is a loud clunk, and from one of the vehicles, a giant figure steps out as well. It doesn't look like a hit mark. And there is a shimmer around Jason, who was holding Emiliano, and he is also wearing a hard suit. They're both around 7 feet tall in these things. I hope we can just Natasha will say, hand over the experiment and we'll let you get on your way. Isn't that right, Jason?
Or
Creature, present yourself. Hands behind your back. On the floor.
release the hostage at the same time, please.
Emiliano will have a last look at all three of you, and there's a look in his eyes that says, thank you. And he'll step forward.
As he's stepping forward, Jack will just sort of give him a last pat on the arm or back, whichever is easiest to reach.
You do, and he pauses again, but he doesn't look back at you. And he will step forward, and he will walk about halfway between you, and then he will get down on his knees, and he will put his hands behind his back and sit down on his haunches. The hard suit pushes the man forward, who kind of stumbles and is around halfway and will walk towards you as well. And he just looks confused. He doesn't know what's happening. But he's glad to be out, and he will stumble towards the rest of you. Natasha will kind of, McCoy will take him and kind of hold him. The man in the hard suit will turn to Natasha for a moment, and then he'll turn back to the rest of you. Superstitionists, you're all under arrest by the order of the Ivory Tower. Stand down, and the troops circling you will raise their weapons. Natasha's going to walk forward, and she'll say to Charles, I'm so sorry it had to be like this. Just like in Prague. And Charles shifts slightly. Natasha takes something small out of her pocket and flicks it onto the hard suit. There is an electrical discharge, and she will say, for courage, and half of the armed troops turn on each other and shoot their colleagues, and a firefight erupts. The other hard suit will charge towards Emiliano, and Emiliano will jump up and fight, but there are still troops for the rest of you. We can roll for initiative. I'm not rolling for initiative. PCs go first. So we have a Damien first, then Duncan, then Christy. Go for it. Chaos has erupted. The Union have turned on each other. What do you want to do? The rest of the group are basically gearing up to fight. There are still some, there are still plenty of technocrats for you to have at.
I guess for my part, I'm gonna try to get some cover.
The closest cover's probably your van or the Cadillac.
Mm. And yeah, I'm gonna go over to the van, and I guess I will shoot. I will shoot at the guy.
Sure. Don't sound too enthusiastic, man.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, sort of,
He's an old
Stop.
stage player. He's like, combat, that just gets in the way.
like really much trust are so 2 successes,
Mm-hmm.
hits, and shit. I really don't like the book to try and find the references. But somewhere.
What kind of gun is it?
It's the standard Glock. So I think it's 4.
Yeah. So you have 5 damage.
5.
You do 2 damage because you have a force's effect giving you an extra damage.
Mm.
Okay. You let a shot off at one of the guys. There will be. You clip him. Doesn't seem to do much.
It's the thought that counts.
Exactly, it's the thought that counts. When you shoot this off, there is the bullet. The kind of the muzzle flash is a deep red, and it's very satisfying to fire. It sounds like a gunshot, but it's almost like deeper and more powerful. And Duncan's next.
So just to clarify, what surface are we standing on? Are we standing on a concrete surface?
You're standing on broken concrete.
Broken concrete. Excellent. And how far away is the river?
10 to 15 meters.
I'll get there in a turn.
Go for it.
Okay.
Oh,
Going.
sorry. Did you say can you get there in a turn?
Yeah.
And a flat out sprint. Yeah, go for it. Roll me Dex Athletics, difficulty 4, to not trip on the broken concrete if you're making a flat out sprint. It's not particularly dangerous terrain.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
Then I want to hit someone with the river.
Cool.
Well, specifically, he's going to point towards the river. He's going to get his axe out, point towards the river with his axe.
Well, that was your action. Was
Oh, okay.
The movement because is a fair distance. So you said a full sprint.
No, that's totally fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Silver, what do you want to do?
What she'd like to do is because she's pretty sure that Tombstone, which cracks me up to even say it loud. But she's probably a much better shot based on the paradigm I see in front of me. So she's gonna actually walk up there and not walk. She'll like bolt over, which is probably a couple feet, I would guess, and try to grab the guy. Pablo was his name, right?
Yeah.
She'll try to grab Pablo from him and just say, "Protect us. I got him," and basically start pulling him towards the van.
Thank you, preacher lady. And yeah, she will take out her gun. So Tombstone will take out her pistol, and even as she moves it from her holster to a firing position, various bits whir and click on it, and sighting apparatus pops out. And yeah, she will begin shooting. It is shooting lasers.
I made the right choice, guys. I made the right choice.
The laser cowboy.
Solomon is going to basically brings his hands up and begins chanting a prayer, and a light yellow shimmering shield is going to begin appearing around players, or kind of around this general group's area. You will be harder to hit by shooting.
Out of curiosity,
Eamon.
what's going on?
Are you there?
Yay!
Mm-hmm.
So, Eamon, you have been in the car so far. You were going to help do a speedy getaway. You're meeting in a warehouse kind of open area, car park, on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. The Technocracy, to fill you in, the Technocracy, once you did the exchange, troops began, looked like advanced SWAT team members, began filing out of 2 vans they had, as well as 2 hard suit armed craps, which is essentially like power armor. Natasha, who you met last time, basically when they tried to arrest you, and then Natasha appears to have at least temporarily disabled one of them, and she said, friends of courage. I know she said for courage, sorry. And some of the technocrats turned on their allies and just literally instead of turned from pointing at you, turned to their allies and started shooting them. So the technocrats have turned on each other, and I'm just describing what the rest of the NPCs are doing. Okay. So Charles is going to basically one of the nearest guys. He's basically going to run at him. He has an umbrella. He is going to swing the umbrella and disarm the technocrat. He is whipping out some kung fu moves. Emiliano is going to rise from his seated position and charge towards the hard suit. The hard suit is bringing its arms up, Tony Stark's Iron Man style, and from its wrist, basically small mini rockets or darts lash out at and take out in one hit some of the troops that Natasha seems to have commanded to turn on their technocratic allies. What do you want to do? I'm going to say you're in the car seat. You can easily jump out.
I think Eamon will throw a fireball.
Hopefully the window's open.
Eamon throws a fireball. Yeah, you can lean out the car and just zap someone with your wand. Who would you like to shoot at?
Mm-hmm. One of these power armors. So
one of the power armors guys is basically on his knees, and there appears to be electricity crackling around him. He seems to be incapacitated. The other one, Emiliano, is actually between you and it. There are SWAT team guys with guns.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw at them.
Okay, go for it. Will you roll forces for me?
Mm-hmm.
So difficulty is 7.
I have a. Sorry.
Oh,
Bless
guys,
you.
Let's get out.
Yeah. Talk about an internet virus.
Yeah.
I have a wand. Which
Is it a unique instrument?
Just a sec. It's not unique, but it's personal.
Okay, a personal instrument, and difficulty 6.
Yeah, no success.
Yeah, you have a single success, which is no damage.
Mm-hmm. Some fire just pops up.
Cool. We will jump back to the top of the initiative.
Oh, I need to roll initiative.
Yeah, Roland. I'm just having the PCs go first. John. What you want, Amachan? You're muted.
He's on 9.
9. Okay. Damien, you're first. I think. Is that right? Yeah.
I will. I will shoot the guy again.
Go for it. You have 2 successes.
Yeah. Uh, plus 1 charm.
You do 3 damage. He soaks none of it. You do a solid hit on him. Straight through the armor. Jack, you have run and you are now on the banks of the River Hudson.
So Jack is going to loudly and quite angrily start screaming an invocation, sort of a plea to help for the River Hudson. And he will crouch down and whip his axe across the river and towards one of the technocrats and the axe which the spirit gave him, and try and summon a giant spike, a giant column of water with its tip edged into a big spike to impale someone.
As you begin the invocation, water begins up lashing. Actually, sorry. Roll your dice first.
Okay.
You can have -1 to your arete roll.
It's a personal unique instrument.
Okay, then you
'Cause
have
it's
-2.
it's a specific axe given to him by a spirit of water,
Sounds cool.
and I'm spending a point of willpower on this.
Nice. Sorry, this is forces basically, right?
Forces and matter.
Okay.
So
You
that
have
would be
4
3.
successes. 4. So
Yeah,
willpower
because
and
forces.
Yeah. So yeah, you have 4 successes. Can you aim it using whatever dice pool makes sense? Whatever you would use to invoke this. Let me look at your sheet.
Elemental law.
Yeah, go for it. I would like you to be charisma elemental law. If that's all right.
Okay.
Go. You only need 1 success. Hopefully just 6. Yep. So describe what you do.
Okay. So yeah, Jack, I say, whips his axe up, and in harmony with his axe, sort of joining with his axe, I say a column of water erupts from the river, and forms into, and as Jack brings his axe down, it dives towards a technocrat, a literal impossible spike of water plunging out of the river itself over Jack's head into this technocrat that made his own decisions. He knew what he was doing. He's not unfortunate. It's not fancy. It's just a raw expression of elemental power.
Absolutely. I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna say this is lethal damage. Okay.
Yeah.
There's no soak. The water crashes down onto this technocrat and quickly disperses as the force of magic leaves it, and there is a broken body where the strike happened. Take a point of paradox, and you as well, please, Amchan.
Okay.
But that was fucking cool.
+1 cool point.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to be next to the river.
Sylvia, you're up.
Well, her first priority is actually to get this guy who can't really do much because he's still like, tied up in his stuff. So
Mhm.
she's trying to get him either at least behind the van or maybe even in the van. Whichever she can get to most easily, that's pretty safe. So can she do that? And
Absolutely.
would she still have time to do anything else, or would it if I split my action,
You
would I
can-
be able to do that?
You can lead him by the arm in a kind of crouch run, and you can do another action if you want. But yeah, you'll be a half dice pool,
That's fair.
as that's a bit more complicated than just normal moving.
Okay. She can't really do much from here, but I would ask the question. The bulk of the fighting that's going on, right? I know there's some confusion and stuff. There's obviously laser fire, but what other weapons am I seeing here?
You've seen the hard suit use some kind of weird mini missiles. You've seen the troops appear to be using just guns.
Okay.
Charles has an umbrella, and that's it.
Okay, so it's mostly some pretty high-tech stuff and an umbrella.
The umbrella's on our side.
I know. All right. I can't actually do any. With the entropy at 1, I could only sense the way something's going to go, right? Or likely to go, I should say. With the 1, I
Entropy
can't.
and time would be where something's going to go. Entropy 1, you can detect weaknesses.
I'm not sure if that's something that falls into her area. So at this point, she's gonna do something just kind of weird because it's kind of like I have an extra second. I might as well try. So she's gonna try to grab a rock or a piece of the concrete if she can, and basically just try to throw it at somebody that she can get to. This, even if it just distracts them for a second, so somebody else can get a good hit.
So you're literally throwing a rock.
Yeah, basically, just as big of a rock as she can grab that she can actually lift. And she's strength 3.
Go for it. Lob a rock at a crap.
Exactly.
I like it. I appreciate that kind of gusto.
That is something. It's either do something or just stand here hiding with my little buddy here.
Bob says, "Fuck off."
Pretty much. That's pretty much the point.
Wait. Are you without sin?
I didn't hear you.
Are you without sin? Casting the first stone.
I am without sin. No, just kidding. Just trying to find what my athletics is 2. Okay, cool. So half dice is, do I round down?
Yes, you do. Yeah.
All right, ready for this power roll of 2d10?
Go for it.
2 successes.
2 successes. There you are.
Big rock. I don't know. You tell me who it was. Whoever seemed like she could distract the easiest, that someone else was maybe already fighting. Something like that.
You can throw it at one that was raising his weapon to shoot at Jack. And a rock flies through the air and whacks him. Can you roll...
Strength?
Yeah, actually, strength plus 1 dice of damage.
Is this going to be like? Is this going to be bashing? Out of curiosity. Or lethal.
Yeah, I guess it is. I mean, I don't think rocks are lethal, are they?
Unless they've got a
I mean,
piece
it could be if it's a pointy piece of concrete. But I got 2 successes, whatever you're doing with it.
You got 2 successes.
I'd say that might distract quite well.
It pings off his helmet, but yeah, it's going to distract. Cool. So as you do this, Charles is going to be kind of like in the thick of the fighting. McCoy is again plugging off shots. Evan, Love, basically you see that the rest of them appear to have like kind of something in their ear. And occasionally when like a shot goes near them, there's a bit of blue kind of like static, almost like a small kind of shield. Emiliano basically crunches with the hard suit and begins a kind of like Godzilla-y wrestling match with the thing. The troops that Natasha ordered, although they have the advantage, they are outnumbered and are being basically fairly quickly dealt with. You see from the troops that were not ordered by Natasha, when they shoot, there's kind of like blue electricity coming off their shots, and a few of them are going to start shooting at you guys. So, Jack, you were the first one, because you just splatted a guy with a water axe. That is 4 successes.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
Take none. A bullet whizzes past you and just clips you, but doesn't do any damage. You quickly look down and it's not a bullet, it's like a big slug that looks a bit technological, and it will start sparking on the floor. It's some kind of like yeah, you're not quite sure. Aside from that, Claudia, as you are shooting, another one takes a shot at you. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take 6 bashing damage for me.
Okay.
You have your
So-
armor, remember?
Yeah.
Was that
And
also
it's-
including Claudia's partial cover?
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Also, you gave us a ward or shield by someone.
I did. You're quite right. Yeah. So that would mean there was only 2 successes. So I'm going to take off the last 2 dice. Take 3 instead. Yeah, the bullet appears to, through Solomon's shield, it kind of like bursts. And yeah, you're a hard target. So yeah, I apologize.
I get hit.
You take a slug crunches into your rib cage, and there's a burst of electricity that goes through you. Yeah, you take 3 bashing damage.
Yep.
I'm actually going to say that the armor you've got is going to provide an extra dice of protection because it's literally ground. So it's like grounding you from the electric bolts, only against the electric stuff.
Is this Pokemon?
Yeah.
If so, then we better not use water on you.
But yeah, please continue. As we will go back to the top of the initiative.
I'm back. Did I miss something?
Yeah, Damien got got shocked by some kind of electric stun thing.
Okay.
Also, you're super far, so you should probably lower your mic.
What?
You're super far.
You're better now, I
sounded
think.
quiet. You're fine. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
don't worry, Mish. It's good. Claudia, you're up. You just got lightning shocked.
Yeah. Okay. What I'm du- 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 du. What I'm going to do. Um, hmm, I'll keep picking on exactly how it will work for next turn. I'm just gonna shoot for this one.
Okay, go for it.
Always 2 successes.
Same again. 5 dice damage.
Hmm.
You do 4 damage. 4 ag. 3 of it is soaked. So you clip the guy again. Jack.
How many of them are? How many of the technocrats actually are there?
There appears to be about a dozen potential targets left.
Okay. I'm gonna do the same thing.
Go for it. The guy who shot you? Shot towards you?
Yes.
Go for it.
And spending willpower again.
Mm-hmm. Let me just think about difficulty. It would be 7 and it's reduced to 5, I believe, right?
Yes, that's right.
So 4 successes.
Mhm.
So same again. Can you roll your targeting? Yep. Two are soaked. Again, the same thing happens. This time, the guy is slashed by your axe and is sent flying across the quad area. And there is an almighty crunch. And yeah, he is badly, badly hurt, but not quite dead. Definitely rendered out of action. Sylve, you have run from cover to cover with the prisoner. You threw a rock.
You know, I didn't have much time to think of much there. But yeah, no, she's it's a bit rudimentary once more, but she's actually going to pray to Saint Christopher, I believe it is,
Mhm.
to hopefully get to be able to better aim her her next rather big rock that she grabs. She really doesn't want to go out there. The only way she can fight is with fists, and that is not wise in the middle of a technological battle.
Okay, cool.
So she's going to she's going to pray to, and then to throw it, and then throw it at. Was that guy that he just hit? Was that the one that was doing stuff at him?
Yeah, that guy has now been smashed by a giant water axe.
6 lethal.
Okay. Right. Well, then he can have that guy. That's fine. She'll try to distract somebody else that she can get from where she is.
Go for it.
So I have to roll my effect first, right?
What is the effect you're going for?
Basically, Saint Christopher is the saint of travel. She's thinking this big rock is going to be traveling, and he's this way. Basically, she's trying to better her aim, by having Saint Christopher bless the rock, essentially.
With correspondence?
Yeah,
Okay, go for it.
should make aim better.
Go for it. Each success will reduce the difficulty to hit by 1 on your
Okay.
next turn.
Well, not sure what my diff was. It is just a prayer, and she had like a medal on. She was holding on to.
Yeah, it would need to be at least diff 2. I guess it's coincidental. So go for it. 5. Your
5, so
prayer,
I got 1.
I'll give you -1 flair if that's what you would like.
It's still only one. I mean, yeah, one success total.
Okay.
I got a one that took away one, so. Okay. Then next turn, that is what we'll be doing, I guess. Unless something changes.
Moosh, you're up.
So there's technocrats and the SWAT members, right?
What was that? Sorry.
There's technocrats and the SWAT members.
So there's
Yes.
there's two hard suits. One who's fighting Emiliano, the other who is down on the ground. There is Natasha, who's the person who seemed to give some kind of order for the technocrats to turn on each other. And then there are SWAT members. For the record, they don't look like SWAT members. They look like some kind of technocratic shock troops.
So there was like no visible leader or among them. They're just like
Out of the shock troops, no, they all look exactly the same.
and like
Almost.
Jack and Silvana was attacking the shock troops as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. You said they come out of a car, right?
Yep.
Would that car be 2 tons?
There are two vans. I can say one of the vans would be 2 tons, and I like
Yeah.
where this is going. Go for it.
I want to either pull that van
Uh-huh.
in a way where it will hit like majority of them to like make them go down. Not like go down, even maybe crushed if it's something I can do. But like why I would try just hit on them one by one while I can just try to make the battle more easier for my friends who's better at fighting than I am.
Well, the Krats are turning on each other, but you might not care about that, and I appreciate that. That's not me trying to trick
Mhm.
question you. But yeah, go for it. You can definitely just throw the van towards an area where they're not actually like Charles is like in close combat. So if you don't do it towards that, you could try and hit a few. Absolutely.
So like he's gonna this is like more of his anger talking. He doesn't like what happened to Emiliano, especially like the magic taken away from him kind of made him a bit sad about him. So he's yelling and like in this you say it's not a language, but can he yells in a language of the angels, as in like the as in the
Enochian?
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you. He's like basically what he does is he with his hand he does like how Magneto controls the thing. He basically like points it with his hand and his wand and then like moves it towards the direction where it needs to go.
I'm gonna say you're gonna need 3 successes to do this.
Thank you. I'm gonna spend a willpower if it's possible.
Cool.
What's the difficulty?
The difficulty will be 7 because you're using level 3 of the Vulgar Spear. Yeah, I'm not going to add. Yeah, basically the difficulty will be 7 unless you want to do something else. You could make a practice roll if you would like. Let me look at your sheet, see what would make sense. I know you have,
I have
the language.
alchemy and the. I don't have like any practice.
Yeah, one sec. Until we get the Enochian thing sorted, I'm happy for you just to go with your base enigmas, if you'd like.
Thank you. Okay, so I roll.
Or base esoterica, yeah, whichever. Plus intelligence usually.
Okay, so 6 dice then.
Okay. So you will reduce difficulty by 2. The difficulty is 5. Go for it.
I have 4 successes with willpower.
Nice. You reach out using your anger and your hate, young Padawan. You chant it. You feel the van as if it was in your hands, and you lift it up. The van kind of shudders slightly, and then when you gesture your hands quickly, it goes screeching through the air and will land in a group of technocrats. I'm going to roll some athletics. Dex athletics. That is going to have to beat your successes. Nice.
This was a rote, by the way. I prepared this as a rote in the past.
Nice. I'm glad. Roads. Okay. All three of them seem to be slammed by the car. One of them's going to end up totally underneath it. The rest are just kind of like slammed out of the way, but they are like on the floor and do not appear to be like being moving. They're just basically, yeah. Take another point of paradox, please.
Thank you.
I'm not sure you're supposed to say that.
Paradox is present.
Pardon?
Paradox is present.
Exactly. The little like
Only when you're
Starbucks
Robbie.
stamps that you save up for a lovely bit of plot. If you get 10, you get to meet a Paradox Spirit celebrity.
Sweet. I don't have time. No wrinkle.
So the rest of them, Emiliano seems to be losing to this hard suit actually. Between the rest of them, there's only Jack, Claudia, and Eamon taking them out. There's only a few left, but these last ones are going to try and do what they can. So they're going to shoot at all of you this turn. So we will start through initiative order. Claudia, you're getting shot at. 2 successes. Crap. Take 2 bashing. Nope, you soak it. It hits you, lightning sparks onto your earthen robes, your earthen clothes, and just seems to disperse. Jack. Take 2 bashing.
So is upsetting. And an extra point for because it's rock
Yeah.
armor, right?
Soaked. Claudia, you're being shot at. Apologies, Damien. You didn't get the bubble bonus. Claudia, you are being shot. I mean, sorry, Silver is being shot at difficulty 8.
I was like, wait a minute. I thought you already took one.
3.
Okay.
Take 1, 2, 3. You take 5 bashing.
Okay, well, I will soak my 3 stamina. At least I will attempt to. Okay, so I just took 4? 3.
No, you took 3. So yeah,
3.
a bolt hits you in the shoulder. There's some pain from the bolt, but also there's an electrical discharge that will make you, basically. Will make
So you guys hear pretty loud oof, because 3 to 1 shoulder is pretty, kind of a lot to one little.
Amen. Nice. You take just 1 bashing.
Okay.
Are you rolling soak? Can you hear me? Can you hear us?
Oh shit! Yeah. But I can't like
I think
soak. Yeah, I soak it.
Nice.
I thought it
Cool.
was lethal. Sorry.
top of the initiative. Claudia.
Okay, so I'm thinking that we are currently kind of in a pickle and I need to do our exit. So what Claudia is going to do is that she is going to take she's going to take a vial. She's going to take a vial and she is going to add some which is it? I think it's she's going to add some lead. She's going to add lead, salt, and she's going to start to with a lighter to make it hotter and hotter. And once it's done, she will throw it to make basically a small small fog to at least make an improvised smoke bomb.
Cool. I'm happy for you to do that with a +1 difficulty modifier because you're like casting on
Yeah,
the
I'm
spot.
completely improvising, which
Yeah.
is awesome.
But that's cool. I'm not going to give you a success threshold. The more successes you get, the larger the fog cloud will be, basically. And you just want to position it generally between you and the crowds.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I will spend overpower if I can. Raise others. Do it. One success. With or without willpower, that will do. But yeah, she will throw it.
Cool.
And just hope it works.
Can you roll Dex Athletics to throw it in the right place?
Yeah. Strength athletic.
I prefer Dex.
Okay. I will take the dice penalty because I'm hurt at 2.
Cool.
3 successes.
Yeah, this thing will shatter. Basically, it will sail through the air, poof, and a puff of smoke will begin coming out of it. It obscures you from some of the crats and basically will give some cover from some of them. I'm just going to run through the loop really quickly. Wait a sec.
Guys, just want to say, punching people with a river is really quite a satisfying feeling.
Yeah, I don't. It's funny when you realize your character doesn't really have a whole lot that actually attacks people.
Yeah. Do you have
But,
any
you know, it's
Spirit
alright.
3?
Just Spirit 1.
I said any sphere, sorry.
Well, yeah, correspondence,
Okay,
but
cool.
that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. So unless she's gonna pull something through a gate or something and toss it.
I mean, you can.
But she did.
Do you have matter too?
Just barely. As I think I got it last time.
Because if you have matter too, you can drop stuff on people.
Hey,
Which is fair, but she doesn't have anything prepared for that, or like, you know what I mean?
That's fair.
Yeah, like she didn't plan it. Doesn't think for fights usually. Maybe she will after this.
Yeah, complete learning experience.
Jack, you're up.
Okay. So, you say that the hard suit thing is losing to Emiliano.
No,
Oh,
Emiliano
it's beating Emiliano.
Yep.
Would there be a way reasonably to aim an effect to attack the hard suit, or would that be an incredibly high risk maneuver?
You can absolutely do it. I'm going to say to hit the hard suit and not Emiliano. Just your aim roll will be difficulty 7. If you botch, you're going to hit Emiliano.
Okay.
But yeah, go for it.
Yeah, we're gonna go for the hard suit. Another point of willpower.
hmm
So that is just 2 successes this time.
No,
No,
three.
no,
Three.
3 because forces. Yeah. That's
Nice.
well hit.
Nice. It soaks. Oh no, it soaks 3. You do some damage to it. Yeah, you appear to essentially. It seems a bit to you guys watching. It's slightly unnerving because it's this thing made of water, and I think just instinctively in human minds you don't think much of water, but when it hits, there's an audible crunch, and you see a rip in the hard suit appear. And Silva is up. You have a blessed stone.
Apparently, I do. So he just opened up like a spot, something in the armor of one of them,
Yeah. You want to aim
and
for
I have a lower div. I might as well use that advantage.
Okay.
Yes, we will aim for the tear.
I'm going to say it's +3 diff because it is proportionally
That's
good.
fine.
So altogether, your difficulty will be 8 to hit it.
Let's pray, guys. No, it's only a fail though. It's only a fail.
So
It kind of went sideways.
you literally aim up this rock, still chanting your blessings to St. Christopher, and it goes sailing through the air. You know when you can just feel like a throw's right on target? You can just feel it. But at the last minute in the struggle with Emiliano, he shifts and it just clanks off the side of him. Amen.
Okay.
I have a bunk for a lightning bolt, and I'm going to throw a lightning bolt to the guy who's wrestling with the Emiliano.
Cool. The same thing's going to apply.
Okay, this is the roll for the reduced difficulty.
You hit.
I have 3. I will
Oh, sorry. Yes, you reduced the difficulty. Apologies.
I will roll another willpower. Basically, him saying some words and pointing his wand. It will hopefully create some electricity to shock this guy. I will spend a willpower. I think difficulty will be 4 now.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2.
You have 3.
Oh, okay.
Because you have 1 for willpower and 1 for forces. Your lightning bolt arcs towards. Actually, that's a lie. Can you roll to hit for me?
Yeah.
You roll to hit with basically probably your practice roll again. Difficulty is 7.
Yeah, I do.
You hit. You utter your magic, and a lightning bolt arcs towards the creature and strikes it. In the rest of the fighting, there appears to be a good. The tide has turned, and most of the rest seem to be cleared up by the other tradition mages. The only combat that is not going your way is the one Emiliano is facing. Basically, he's been forced down onto his knees by the hard suit, which is actually slightly shorter than him, but appears to just be immensely strong. And as he does this, the figure basically pulls out one arm, and the hand will glow red for a moment, and there'll be a massive burst of energy that will blast a hole right through Emiliano's chest.
No.
He will. It doesn't actually drop him, and basically he's just going to bear hug the creature. He's no longer trying to overpower it, but he will just grab the hard suit and just bear hug it, trying to incapacitate it. The rest of the little guys have basically been cleared up. A few of them have surrendered at this point. So, top of the initiative. We're going to go through the rest of you trying to pour enough damage onto this hard suit before Emiliano breaks. So, Jack.
It would be Claudia first.
Sorry,
Claudia,
Claudia.
sorry.
My apologies, Damien.
Okay, so pretty much the only thing that stayed is the fight between Emiliano and the big guy.
Yep.
Well, considering my previous experience with that kind of thing, she is not to try and throw acid.
Nice. Go for it.
No. I'm
No,
saying
she's
she's
not.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
That's what killed Joey and Grace.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't kill Grace. I hurt her, but I killed you.
Well, you gave her like 6 damage or something, and then it just took 1 damage to put her over the edge.
Well, I mean, I tried to make you go with Duncan. I'm sorry, I failed.
I was like,
tried.
I was a turn later. How dare you make me wait?
She's just gonna shoot.
Go for it.
That's 3. 6.
So you can choose to shoot the creature at difficulty 5, in which case, basically you're also going to hit Emiliano, or you can shoot at diff 7 to try and avoid him completely.
I mean, she would have tried to aim.
Okay.
To be
Go.
honest, it's those options. That hasn't changed. It's 3 successes. 3 successes on attack and 3 damage.
Nice.
4 with the force.
Cool. You do a damage.
Yay!
Huzzah! Jack, you're up.
Okay. No, we're gonna keep going because there's another instrument I want to do another thing. But so yeah, we're gonna hit with the river again.
Mm-hmm.
4th point of willpower. So that's just 2 successes.
Cool. 4 damage. Can you roll to aim?
I hit.
You hit. You do 3 more damage. You slash into the thing again as Emiliano holds it. There is blood and viscera on the floor behind him. Sylve, you're up.
This is depressing, watching this. I just have this feeling. Yeah, she's gonna grab another freaking big rock, but she's not gonna throw it this time.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to run up there and try to bash the guy on the head.
The guy in the hard suit.
Yeah.
Okay. With what?
The rock.
Okay.
She's just gonna run up there and do it.
Go for it.
Like an idiot. It's kind of been an emotional roller coaster today. So that would actually be melee, right?
It would be melee. Dex melee.
Indeed. Well, I don't think I
To
don't
hit
think
will
she
be
actually has
4
melee.
because you're attacking an incapacitated opponent.
Yeah. Well, he's still fighting, so. Just trying to make sure. I have brawl, but yeah, no melee. All right. So that's fine. Straight dex. It's not at any plus diff, is it?
Yeah, melee is. So it will be difficulty altogether, difficulty 5.
Okay. That's 3.
Nice.
And
Strength
I
plus
did
success is
strength.
plus 1, so it'll be strength plus 3 at this point.
Okay.
You fucking clobber it for 4 bashing. I'm sorry, it soaks it.
He's-
You get a
it's
really
okay.
good hit as well.
She feels good about herself though.
Amy,
Hi.
you're up.
Contributed.
Hey, I did a thing.
You did a
I
thing.
went up to
4 damage is a lot. That's yeah.
hey from 3 dice. Yeah, I
I'm
mean
not
seriously,
seeking
she had
to
3 dice.
disparage Sylve in any way, but it is
Hey,
hilarious.
Yeah.
hey, she was brave enough to run up to him, with no
Completely.
armor.
I'm quite far away and armored.
I will try to do the same because I don't like I. You say he looks very powerful. I can try to put like a wind prison, but Eamon thinks that like it would be very useless to have a wind prison when he's so strong. Throwing a car would be dangerous because Sylvan
Yeah.
is there. So he's gonna throw a fireball this time.
Oh, so that just if that misses, it totally won't hit me.
It's fine. You will.
Yeah, it's totally fine. I only have 3 damage right now.
You're right. The fireball can hit you.
Yeah, but I mean, do what you're gonna do. I'm not here to judge. Wouldn't be the first time I went down from friendly fire.
Robbie,
Mhm.
the thing I did, basically throwing a car at him. He seems like he's gonna do the kill attack on Emiliano, right? Or Emiliano is just bear hugging him.
Emiliano is bear hugging it. Yeah.
Oh man. So
May I
leave-
ask a question real quick?
Go
Sure.
on.
I'm sorry I interrupted. I did. I just realized that I forgot to take off any dice for the for her injury because she's -3 right now.
You know what? You can have a heroic. It's only 1 dice, and you can have a heroic insanity charge bonus. So there.
Okay, I mean, I was just gonna say, can I just have her have spent a willpower to cover for it?
Okay. Yeah. I know. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
We will try. This may end horribly. I spend 2 willpower. I'm gonna spend a third, but firstly, this will be the the thing roll that we do. The intelligence and
Mm-hmm.
the dice.
You have 1 success at that.
Allow
The difficulty will be 6.
I will roll 3. With a willpower, it will be 1 success with 2 success. I don't know if 2 success does damage or not.
That is, yeah, it does. It does 4. Can you roll me your Easter intelligence to hit?
Hopefully it will. It does.
Yep. Soaks it. Claudia, Silvia. The thing is trying to struggle free from Emiliano as it seems to get blasted by all sides. but it's going to take a swipe at you and try and backhand you away.
I don't think I get a free dodge, do I?
No.
Aw,
3
this is bashing again, right?
is bashing. 1, 2, 3. You take 4 bashing damage.
Let me attempt to soak. I soak none, so
I think you're
that was 4.
incapacitated. Yeah.
That puts me at 7 bashing.
You see Sylve be bashed to the side by this thing and basically go flying across the quad, crunch, and she doesn't get up. With that, Emiliano is going to scream with rage, and you see his muscles begin just popping and riveting, and there is a crunch, and you hear a kind of a megaphoned voice from inside the hard suit scream. We're going to go straight back to the top of the initiative.
I guess I'm going to try to drag Sylvana back to cover.
Okay, yeah, you can run over to her body.
Yeah, that would be my action turn.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. Jack.
Okay, so Sylph has been just crippled by this thing in the hard suit, but it is cracking and screaming, right?
Yeah, it looks like it's on the way out.
Okay, I'm gonna try and do something different. Jack is going to call out. He's going to take out some of his rubber, set it on fire in his bowl, then grab it in his hand and shove it into the ground as the fire itself burns him, calling out a prayer to Lord Asphalt. And what I'm trying to do is make a pool of molten concrete behind Emiliano and this thing.
Okay, cool. Behind them.
Or, well, no, basically in front of Emiliano.
So basically under this, under the thing.
Yeah.
Under the hard suit.
So if Emiliano wants to push this thing into a big pool of molten concrete lava,
Gotcha.
he can do.
Okay, go for it. Sounds awesome.
Okay.
4 successes, please.
Spending willpower.
Yeah. Difficulty is 7, I believe, right?
Yeah, base.
I'm gonna say flare. You can get -1. Go for it.
So that was 2 successes so far.
2 successes, yeah, and you can minor write it.
Mm-hmm. And so that'll be on my next turn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eamon, you're up.
You're
Armachan?
muted, Armachan.
Oh shit, I'm sorry. So I was saying I can't do anything because I spent the 3 quintessence I have to create fireballs, which leaves me with 0 quintessence.
Do you have any prime?
I have prime 2. I can like maybe turn air into fire.
Yeah, I don't think you need Quint to necessarily to make
fire?
fire. I thought you just needed prime 2 forces 3.
You do need prime to create something.
You need. I thought like it was like you turn quintessence into fireball. Therefore, you spend 1 quintessence every time you throw a fireball. Energy to enter energy.
I'm not sure about
If
that.
you're if you're creating a pattern, you need quintessence. And forces is a pattern.
Okay. Yeah, you can't. You can try something else.
I can. Is there any? Oh, he says molten. He created a molten.
So you see Jack summoning something, and I'm going to say basically a space behind the hard suit kind of appears to be like melting and glowing red.
Oh yeah, it's. I can flare that up a bit. With forces too, right?
Go for it. I'm into that.
Thank you.
Our powers combined.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
I'll tell you what. Don't do that now.
Mhm.
On Jack's next roll, I'll let you do an assisted cast.
Okay.
Sound okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So back to the top of the initiative. Silva, you run over to Claudia, you run over to Sylvia. She's breathing but looks in a really bad way.
Okay. I'm gonna drag her.
Cool. Yeah, you can. No problem. The rest of them, sorry, are also like pouring damage onto this hard suit. Jack and Eamon. So although this isn't technically an assisted cast, you're basically trying to do the same thing to the same place. So I'm happy for you to basically both roll and combine the effect. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Just to say out loud, like just to say it, Aemon is actually saying like Helios, hear me and obey, while he's like holding his hands to burst the flames.
Mm-hmm.
Jack is calling out entreaties to Lord Asphalt and the magmas that lie and the spirits of lava that lie slumbering deep beneath the earth.
Nice.
And my 5th point of willpower. Jack's going to be so knackered after this.
I'm gonna go for it and roll.
And
willpower as well.
Mm-hmm.
Should I roll for craft? Like, is it something we do between every roll, Robbie, or?
Yeah. With practice, it is because it's ability enhancing magic.
Thank you. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
So -3.
This will have a willpower with it.
Dice Stream has decided to lose its mind. I'm going to use your first roll, Duncan, whatever it is.
that's cool.
Let's wait a few minutes.
I just thought I'd done something wrong.
No, I just think it's just catching up with itself.
Sounds like you should all be praying to the dice gods.
I just I don't pray. I command. Okay.
Nuffle, the god of dice, does not hear prayers. St. Jude is the patron saint of lost causes, which saving Emiliano definitely falls into.
We find St. Jude. Yeah, I have him on my list.
He's the best saint.
I'm going to use it at some point. I promise.
You better.
I'll right up there with Saint Anthony, whose thing is miracles.
The patron saint of miracles.
Yep, Saint Anthony of
Nice.
Padua.
You could just
So that
invoke him for all of your stuff.
I know. It's totally something that could just be like, well, everything that requires,
So
everything that
three.
requires.
Okay. between the two of you, you have 5 successes. So this area of asphalt roars to life and begins expanding. As you're doing this, Emiliano is going to, almost like a rugby player, just put his last life swan song's effort into pushing this creature. And him and the hard suit are going to plunge into the boiling lava. There's a scream from the Krat in the hard suit that is cut short instantly as it goes beneath the bubbling magma. There is a splash, and then there is nothing more. A few bubbles. But an offering has been given to the great Lord Asphalt. There's a quiet now. There appear to be a handful of Natasha's technocrats who are handcuffing the ones that have surrendered and body checking the ones that didn't. Natasha still seems to have the other hard suit somehow suppressed with some kind of devices. You see that she's actually stuck more to it at various points around it. Charles has taken out technocrats non-lethally using kung fu skills and an umbrella. Tombstone McCoy has put holes in several of them as well. Solomon focused on non-violence, protecting you and others with a shield of faith. Natasha stands up once this is done, and everybody stops as this happens and just look towards the now cooling puddle of magma.
I think
Really?
Jack
Sorry,
is. Say Jack's down to 2 willpower. He's utterly exhausted. His new friend just died, and Silver's crippled. I think he's just gonna collapse to his knees. Try and scream and probably not succeed very much.
I'm going to lay in a very nice puddle.
Solomon is going to run over to Sylv. And Sylv, you feel pain and blackness. And then there is just that small kind of soothing thing. And you are going to be healed a few points of bashing. So you're still badly hurt, but you can begin to come to.
There's a groan. I imagine that Claudia would notice more than anyone else because she's with me right now.
Mm-hmm.
And squinting, sort of trying to squint as she tries to open her eyes, and it just hurts.
Eamon, for you, a lesson. Although you're not part of the Order of Hermes, you've almost got an even more kind of bubbled existence because you've never met other mages from other traditions, really. You just worked with Jack, someone that even your uncle, who you know to be a liberal member of the Order of Hermes, looks down on immediately upon hearing he was a dream speaker, but you just worked with him to take down a technocratic hardsuit. And yeah, that's just a thought that pops into Eamon's head. Natasha stands up, and she will be breathing, and she will walk over to the rest of you and Charles. Is she okay? She'll nod towards Donna before seeing that she is.
Wait, Donna's
Donna.
shown up.
Donna showed
Sorry,
up?
Donna. Oh, for God's sake.
Donna would have made short work of all of this.
Yeah, sorry, not Donna. Chloe.
Chloe too. Chloe would have murdered everybody.
Yeah,
Donna would have
apologies.
just Chronos
Still.
5'd everybody. Chronos 5'd that bitch. Anyway, now that we're using the right name, she's
Sorry, what was that, Damien?
To the question, how is she doing? Claudia will say, I think she will live.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. My apologies, Charles. Charles comes over. He looks a bit out of breath. Do you mind telling us exactly what's happened here? Not all of us within the Union agree with the things that happened to your friend over there. We call this cleaning up our own mess. Thank you for your help. These ones that are left, we'd prefer not to have any witnesses. And she'll lift her hand, and her troops are going to raise their guns to the back of the head of the Kratts. Charles is going to say, basically, like, stop.
Do they stop?
They do. Natasha turns to him and says, why? These were your enemies. We were killing them moments ago. Charles says, because civilization has to mean something. It's all very well, Charles, but some of us have to be a bit more pragmatic about it. I thought you would have learned that by now. Still, Natasha, you should not kill them. Natasha says, I'll tell you what. We'll let your new friends decide. They just lost one of theirs. And she'll turn to you four and say, the other hard suit and those half dozen men who've surrendered, they're drones. They would have killed you on the spot.
While she's saying this, Jack's already walking over very deliberately with his axe.
Sylph will
Natasha,
speak up at that point. Yeah, she's just like, they need to live. Leave them alone. Just
They need to
don't
die.
kill them. I will not
This,
ever agree to this.
this alliance needs to be secured if we want to have friends.
I wouldn't go that far, buddy.
Still say no. And she's like holding her head, like barely. Her head is barely like being held up at this point. She's probably starting to sit up, but it's not looking good.
She'll look towards Claudia.
What do you mean by drone?
What do I mean by it? I mean, they would have killed you. They're not faceless automatons, but they're indoctrinated. And not to the utopian ideals that the rest of us follow, to follow orders.
What is your option, Sylvana, if you're not going to kill them? What are we going to do with them? Set them free?
Oh, they
Can
won't
we
go free. We'll still take them.
Jack is looking towards Sylph, but at this point is stood behind one of the drones. He's forcibly pushed the head forward and his axe raised. He's not striking yet, but he's looking towards Sylph. He looks fucking furious.
She's watching him. It's not in a judgmental kind of watch. She's just kind of trying to focus in on him and isn't really doing so well. And she's just like, you guys can decide what you believe, and that's fine. But I will not condone this. I will not say yes to this. They deserve mercy.
Jack is going to
Anybody can change.
point with his axe to where the now cooled asphalt is, and say, "This is mercy," because that's what they do.
Are we not better than them?
Yes, and with that, he's going to kill the first one. With an axe
She will
to the back of the
flinch and
neck.
turn her head. She's absolutely gonna flinch and just turn her head. Like she doesn't. She's had way too much going on.
He even turns his head as well. As much as he can talk all cool shit about like, yeah, go kill them. He doesn't like to see dead people.
The Greymanes doesn't also do the same, except Charles, who is just watching and looks disappointed at Jack. But he doesn't do anything to stop him.
Jack, can you at least wait on the others until Claudia's had a say? Because I feel like you just made our decision for us.
Jack doesn't move towards the next one. Looks pointedly towards Claudia. He's sort of panting hard. He's still, for all his exhaustion, his adrenaline's still running.
Claudia, for her part, has been very detached, and she's basically been thinking about all the situation as if she is basically she's basically doing a math problem. I'm not gonna fault him for his choice. I've been tracked, I've been shut down, I've been taken prisoners by cultists. I wouldn't show mercy. I'm not saying I approve, but I understand where he's coming from and I won't judge him.
Then you guys win 2-1. With one abstaining. Essentially, is that right, Claudia?
Natasha says, "Death by democracy." How progressive. Well, Mr. Jack, would you like the honor, or my boys can finish the job if you'd like?
As the whole thing's been talked out, as say, Jack's still in an adrenaline rush, but it's one thing to sort of strike the first one in anger, but the idea of sort of methodically going through them one by one and killing them is the point at which he hesitates.
Have to live with it.
Gotta have steel to see this sort of thing through. Central War's not easy. I'll tell you what. We'll do you a favor. We'll take the rest with us. You can all imagine whatever we're going to do with them is exactly what you think is best.
War's not easy. Logic is the exact logic why people like Emiliano is existing.
Interesting to see a superstitionist talking about logic. Either way, Charles, it's been a pleasure. And she'll signal to her troops, and they'll start taking the rest of them into a van. The hard suit, the same will happen. Basically, it will be turned off, it will collapse, and they will it will be dragged into one of the vans, and they will leave you all. They drive off into the city. Well, I knew that wasn't going to go well, but I don't know. Got a bad taste in my mouth.
It's probably asphalt.
Or something more bitter. Charles has a very fixed kind of look on his face now. He's not really showing any emotion at all. Well, a deal is a deal. Thank you for your help.
Pablo's over there, as she points.
It's going to be hard to get those manacles off, I know that. Why don't we do two birds with one stone? He looks at Solomon and Natasha. Whistle stop. They'll nod.
Can I speak with Pablo? I mean, I assume he's going to go with you guys.
We can all go together. You want to meet the traditions, don't you?
I'd like a nap and a bath first.
They have napping and bathing there, I promise you.
Lead the way.
Good.
He's actually going to pull out of his pocket what looks like a business card. And he's going to pull a lighter out and burn it. And then he's going to take out a pipe, knock it against the Cadillac, and begin smoking. They don't appear to be going anywhere. A few moments later, a portal appears. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you're about to see Whistle Stop. And they will gesture for us to walk through.
She'll struggle to try to stand up, I would imagine.
If I make a promise that we can do another scene soon, are we happy to finish there?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for players for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. And we will see you next time.